So what is up, everybody? Welcome back to 9 to 5 Gamers, and it is late at night, and I'm doing this review because I just need to do this. So you're watching this. If you're watching this, welcome to Weekend Review. This is where we review board games over the weekend, and I had to review a game because I was able to play it this Monday that just passed, and I have to do a review on it immediately because it is just so good. And it's one of the games that was on my shelf of shame, but it is no longer there. And that is the game Blood Rage. Guys, I finally got Blood Rage to the table, and I am so excited to talk about Blood Rage. So let's talk about it, and let's do our review. So first and foremost, if you don't know what Blood Rage is, you should by now. But Blood Rage is basically it's in the top like best games of all time. It is an area control drafting game where you are trying to control areas of the map of um, I don't even know exactly the name of it. Is it no Yggdrasil is like the middle place, but it's typical uh, Norse mythology stuff. And one of the cool things about this game is that it's so highly rated, but I'd never played it before, and so finally I got a chance to play it. So let's talk about what I think about the game. So starting off, we always start off with our setup and our components. Setup, it's about as normal of a setup as any other game. I don't see anything really wrong with the setup. I think that the setup takes a normal amount of time. It's nothing too crazy. Been some games that the setup just takes, like, I promise you, like 20 to 30 minutes to set up, and those games can be so tough to get to the table. One of those is like Mosaic. Man, setting that game up takes a very long time, and so it just makes it so that it doesn't get to the table that often. This game gets to the table relatively quick, so it's not really bad. Don't want to lose any points there. The setup and the what is that called? Storage and setup. Storage, it is a typical CMON storage. I don't like CMON storage. I know there are people in the comments that say, no, thank you. I would love to have the cardboard thing. I hate that. Like, a company like CMON, to be honest, and this is CMON from back in the day because it's not like this game came out this year. But a company like CMON, they could do better inserts. You know what I mean? Like Marvel United, for example, has a great insert because everything fits into the insert, including the miniatures. In this one, miniatures are put in these little plastic trays that are placed inside of cardboard boxes. So taking them out is just so annoying because you got to take out the cardboard box, take the little things out, then you got to take out the pieces you need, put it back in the cardboard box, put it off to the side. Then when you're done, I mean, you could just leave it all not set up off to the side, but I don't like that as a storage solution. I wish there was a dedicated storage solution, like an actual tray, like the game trays storage. Those are always get perfect scores for me because game trays storage are great. I look at Flamecraft. I look at Trekking Through History has a great insert. This is an older game, so I won't really hold it against it too much, but it will lose like half a point there. So I'm looking at a 1.5 when it comes to the storage and the setup. Now let's talk about the learn and the teach. Dude, Rodney Smith, watch it played. You can learn this game in like 15 minutes. It is not that complicated. If you want to go through the entire rule book, you can. I did this entire playthrough having watched Rodney Smith's How to Play. I didn't watch any playthroughs from any people or any other channels. I didn't even read the rule book. Rodney Smith showed me how to do everything, and I did it, and it was super easy. There's also a pretty cool app that you can get called Dized, D-I-Z-E-D, and Dized has a setup, and it can even run you through your own little test match if you want something a little more hands-on, and you just download the app on like an iPad or something, and then just stream it to the television or something like that. Those are cool ways to learn the game, but easy to learn and even more simple to teach. There is a little bit that you have to teach when it comes to like a lot of the stuff on the game mat and how certain mechanics work. And there is a little bit of a fiddly mechanic that I always tell people to watch out for. It's very, very important, and that is the rule where if you, or at least, I didn't read the rule book, so I'm going based off of what Rodney Smith said, but there's this concept where if you purchase like an upgrade or something or a monster, you can pay the cost of them and then you can invade with them on that same turn. And so, if you're upgrading stuff but then don't realize, hey, look, I upgraded my warriors, I could I guess, invade with a warrior on that same exact turn. I'm not exactly sure if that was exactly how it worked, but I think that's the way the mechanic works. I got to go through the rule book and just make sure that I was correct on that. But the apart from that, I think that everything was easy to teach. Wasn't too bad. There's a lot of stuff going on your little game board, so that could take a little bit to teach and not super confusing. But the gameplay is super simple. But once you get through the teach, I'd say it's like a 1.5 there. But for some people, it's really not that bad. So maybe a 2. So I'm between a 1.5 and a 2 when it comes to the learn and the teach, because I learned it and it was super simple. I taught it and everybody got it. Hardly anybody had any crazy questions. And after watching the Watch It Played, I had a couple of questions I had to ask for some technical stuff, and I just checked the rule book and I found the answers really simple. So it was a great rule book. So 1.5, 2 points. I'm going to go with 1.5 just because we try to be a little bit more critical. Let's talk about visual and components. I mean, look at this box art, man. Come on. That's incredible. So that's a beautiful box art. Looking at this game makes me want to play it, and that's what I liked about Blood Rage. It has great box artwork. The cards have pretty cool artwork on them as well. It's got this cool little, almost like a 300 vibe to it. I really like the artwork, and I thought the visuals were really good. Components, Simon, right? Immediately great, because these miniatures are just fantastic. So if you've ever seen played Ankh or Rising Sun, you know the miniatures are great. If you've ever played Marvel United, Zombicide, you know that their miniature game is like through the roof. So I would say they did an amazing job, even though this is an older game. The miniatures look great. We were actually debating about the gameplay. I'll actually post the gameplay for you guys to see. But we were debating what looked better, if it was better the Ankh or this one. And Ankh was the more recent one, so I'm feeling like Ankh has a slight advantage, but it's still really good. So visuals, artwork, components, all the components, everything is great. Card quality's fine. There's the little game mats, but you know, they're like flimsy cardboard, but it was okay. I don't think it was that bad, to be honest with you. It's just like Arc Nova, and Arc Nova component quality is just fine there. I thought component quality was fantastic. I don't think there was anything wrong with component quality. Cardboard solid. The cardboard pieces, everything was good. So 2 points for that. And then for gameplay and mechanics. So the way the game works is that it's card drafting, and so basically you're going to get a hand of 8 cards. You get to look at all the cards that are in your hand and see which ones you want to take, which ones you hope will make it back around, because what's going to happen is you're going to draft one card, pass them to the player to your left, and you're going to go clockwise and keep taking one card from each hand that you receive till everybody has 8. And that mechanic alone, it's like, I was playing a 3-player game, and I'm like, okay, so there's the odds that this card comes back to me are pretty high, so I'm not even going to worry about this one. I'm going to worry about that one. Ooh, this card is really good. I think that this guy is going to want to take this, so I'm going to hate draft them and take this card, even though I might not use it. It's better that I take it than he gets it and continues to increase on their strategy. The card play is really cool because the cards kind of feed into each other, and they kind of have like a lot of synergy, and you can start like, for me, I just had a lot of synergy with getting combat cards back into my hands and being able to win combats. I was able to deploy a lot of troops and get them focused on Yggdrasil, and the Yggdrasil's in the middle of the map, and so from there every other land is adjacent to the middle land. So I got a lot of troops in the middle land and territory controlled that, so that whenever I needed something, I could literally just march over to any property or any land that I wanted. So I had some of that. Then my friend was going the Valhalla route, where he just kept getting cards that would give him points for killing his troops, and he would gain 2 points for at the end of every round for every troop that he pulls out of Valhalla. That was one of the mechanics, is that when your troops die, they go to Valhalla, and then you get them back at the end of the round, so you don't lose any troops like completely. Another cool thing is that Ragnarok is happening, so like lands are getting destroyed, and as those lands are getting destroyed, if you place troops in the place that's getting destroyed, they'll get sent to Valhalla, but you gain glory, like the victory points, for each one that gets destroyed by Ragnarok, because it's a glory, the glorious death, to die in Ragnarok. And so it's so cool. So it's like even if you lose people to Ragnarok, you still gain points from it. Winning combats gets you glory points. Your currency is rage. There's no money involved. It's just whoever's the angriest has the most rage. That's how you purchase things. And it was so cool. There's these big monsters with different powers. One of the monsters' abilities is that when it steps onto, when it marches or invades a land, that it's not march, when it invades a land. When this monster invades a land, it destroys all of the troops that were there. And I'm pretty sure we played wrong when we played it the first time, but even though it was just such a fun time playing this game and seeing the different strategies that come out. As far as the gameplay goes, it's literally just drafting cards, and then after that, you got 5 actions that you can choose from. Some of them cost rage, some of them are free. But once you, and another fiddly mechanic, but it's actually not bad. It actually, I thought, enhanced the gameplay, was the idea that you have a certain amount of rage, and then once you get 0 rage, like you have no rage at all, not 1 rage, but 0 rage, you can't take any more actions. Even free actions you can't take, because it says no actions on the board. So you have to remember that and say, okay, well, I've got to try to do as many free actions as I can before I spend this last rage that I have left over to march or to put out a warrior or something. And man, it was just so cool mechanically. There's so many cool elements to this. And it's just a simple drafting territory control game, but it is so good. Like, I see why people love this game and why so many people are recommending that it would be in my top 10. And I'll be honest with you, we'll talk about that in a second. What else? That's gameplay and mechanics. I think I talked about the vast majority of what's in there. There's combat, and then the combat can be enhanced with the cards. So it's like my combat is based off of how much strength each of my troops has versus the strength of all their troops gathered. Each troop has its own individual value of strength that it offers in the combat. Plus, you can add on a combat card, kind of relatively close to like Dune Imperium, if you've ever played that, where you can put those combat cards out and it'll add +7 to your combat power. These have the same things, but some of those are really cool because they cancel out all the effects. There was this one part where everybody was trying to win this territory. I think it was the middle territory, because you can get 3 rewards for doing that, and everybody was trying to get it. And so I was like, I know everybody's going to try to get this, so here's what I'm going to do. Everybody's going to play their high roller card. So I played a card that said +0 to combat, but it says cancel all of the cards that get played and you gain glory equal to the combined strength. So I literally canceled out 2 6-powered cards, or I think it was a 6 and a 5, and I got 11 glory points, and then they had to pick new cards. And I was like, dude, that was such a cool play, and I got so many points for it. I was really happy with that. So gameplay mechanics, amazing. And then last but not least, theme, fun factor, replayability. Theme is cool. I love Viking theme stuff, man. Vikings are such a cool theme for games. Anything with Norse mythology, I love games like that. And these games, it's so good with the theme. It's just all over the place. The names of the lands are there. The whole Ragnarok thing that's happening. So Ragnarok is happening, and all of the lands are getting destroyed and closing you into an even tighter space, so you're fighting each other more often. All of that theme is so well embedded. The fact that you need rage to pay for things and everything, and they got the fjords. And the fjords, you have a ship that can be in the fjord, and it offers 2 strength to both adjacent lands that it's in between. Oh man, so cool, man. Theme is great. Fun factor, through the roof. Fun fact, we had such a fun time playing this game. And it's one of those things where it's like, and this is a conversation we could have, is how many reviews do you really need before you know if a game is good or not? I think that for the most part, you need a few gameplays to play. And I also know that there are some times where there are games that are just so good the first time you play them, and you know that they're well received by the vast majority of people, that you can play them once and immediately know this is a top 10 game. I will say right now, that after one playthrough of this, I already knew this game was a winner. Like, I already knew that this game was the most incredible game that I've played in a very long time. When it comes to area control, this is my go-to. Um, I just, I don't know, man. At the end of the game, I think we're all kind of just struggling to figure out, but what's wrong with it? You know what I mean? Like, we all wanted to just give it a 10, but we knew we couldn't because we got to find something wrong with the game. There has to be something. It can't be a perfect game, right? And it's not. It's not a perfect game. It's got a couple of minor issues, but for the most part, I knew immediately upon playing this game that this was a top 10 game, and let me tell you, it really was. I had a blast, and I know that for a fact because I immediately wanted to play a second game right after we finished the first. And that's how I knew. I was like, I'm just hooked on this game, and I want to play this as much as possible. And I want to buy the 5th player expansion because I had at 5 players. This game is just chaotic and crazy and even better. So I'm going to buy the 5th player expansion, and we're going to see how that goes. But for right now, as a base game, the replay value on this is super high. So I cannot recommend this game enough. Blood Rage has become one of my top 10 games of all time, hands down, because this game is fantastic. The hype is real on this game. That I'm not getting paid to say this, even though that some people always think that, like, when you overhype a game, they think, he's getting paid to say those things. No, man, this game is great. Like, this game is super fantastic, and I love it. I can't wait to play it more. So, anyways, thank you guys for tuning in to this video. Oh, sorry, I gave it a 2. So that's 2, 4, 6, 3, 9 points. So I'm at a 9 out of 10. It is up there, man. I could give it a 9.5 right now if I wanted to. I could give it up anywhere between a 9 and a 10. I think under that, I think if you want to give it like an 8, 8.5, I could see that. But this game for me is a 9. This is one of the 9s in my collection. I don't have a lot of those. This is a 9. This is a top 10 game. And hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, put a comments in the comment section. Tell me about Blood Rage. What is your favorite strategy? What is how often have you played this game? How many times have you played? Talk to me about what you love about Blood Rage, but also in the comments, tell me what you don't like about Blood Rage. Like, if you're one of those people that were like, I played it, didn't understand the hype, didn't like it, totally valid, because not every game is for every person. Everybody has very unique and individual tastes. Just because everybody else likes it doesn't mean you have to. But tell me in the comment section why you don't like it. Don't also forget, subscribe if you've never subscribed to the channel. Please, every subscription helps. And as also, if you guys get the opportunity to, I'm trying to make enough money to buy new cameras, equipment. I really want to buy new cameras. And so any money that you may donate to the channel through memberships, Patreon, if you ever watch one of our live streams, drop a super thanks. Or super chat, whatever those may be. That's just like a one-time gift, and all that money I'll be able to utilize so that I can start buying that camera equipment. So please, if you feel like giving monthly, would greatly appreciate that. It'll go a long way and help us even over the summer, if I'll be able to get that money over the summer. But it would be fantastic if you guys can help out. Summertime is always a tough time for us because my wife, it doesn't work. She's a school teacher, so she doesn't work over the summers, although she probably could, but she likes to take the summer off. I think it's really good for her mental health and just overall, because I used to be a school teacher, and I'm like, bro, summers, you need summer off. And so hopefully we can make some money so that we can afford to do those things. So anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the flippity flip. Love you guys. Have a good night, good evening, whatever time you're watching this. Take care. Peace out.